Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new series that we're trying out where we play some video games and talk about some video games and have tons of interesting discussion along the way. My name is Paul. I'm joined by the second greatest reviewer on VG Charts, Lee.
God damn it. What's up, everyone? Oh, can't have language too early into the video? I forgot about that.
No, it's fine. This is Callisto Protocol, a game which came out 2 weeks ago, and pretty much the entire internet has forgotten about since then, which is kind of a shame, because even though it's got a lot of problems, it's one that I still find really interesting, and I hope they do more with it, at least outside of the DLC that they've promised, whatever that winds up being.
It's interesting from a outsider's perspective. Like, I haven't played it yet, so for me, you're pretty much... This is one of the few times you're kind of lined up with just the average critic, or I guess the median in this case.
So, yeah, I think score-wise, I probably wound around the same place. I think what I liked and what I didn't like were different from what a lot of people did. So at least personally, and this is just anecdote, I've seen a lot of complaints about the way this game's combat handles.
Yes, 100%. That's been like the brunt of damage against its reputation, along with I guess bugs at the begining weren't that good.
Yeah. The performance was very bad at the beginning. Oh god. Camera, please. I can't. I can't even see everything. Camera's so close. But I actually love the combat. I think the combat is really good, and I hate to just invoke mad cause bad as an argument, but I think a lot of people's frustrations with it come from like not fully understanding what you can do with it.
Right.
So, and some of that I think is fair, because the game doesn't explain a ton of things.
Sure.
There's a significant amount of stuff that you just have to sort of discover, which I think is something that I'm heavily inclined towards at least as a player.
Right.
But I can certainly see that a lot of people wouldn't be.
Sure.
Not gonna lie, I forget where exactly to go here.
Did you fall down into those holes?
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to like fall down. I can give it a shot and probably just die.
Oh, that's too far. Yeah.
It's a straight up infinite.
I thought there was a little like mesh or something catching you earlier that you just hopped into, but I guess not.
It's just taking me around the other way. I think I already went through here.
And I guess one thing I noticed, just from, once again, an outsider's perspective, what I've seen of combat, it could be kind of like a mixed bag, I guess, because when I see several enemies at once, and you got a really up close camera, it's like, oh boy, how's this gonna work? And sometimes how you handle that, I guess, could be frustrating, because something you miss or an enemy that comes at you hurts you, throws you back. It kind of like compounds your frustration if it happens in quick succession.
Yeah, absolutely. If you get... So I will say the game does like a thing that you can, after a little while, you can pretty obviously tell that it's like if you get surrounded, enemies will sometimes like just kind of stand there and let you one-on-one with the first one.
Right.
But you're absolutely right that, broadly speaking, if you get surrounded, and here's our
go Kamiku, save him.
Separation.
No.
If you get surrounded, you're like 95% of the time gonna die. Um, but I don't personally view that as a problem. I think
Sure.
it's more of the game basically telling the player you gotta not get surrounded.
Sure. I guess we're gonna get our nice little trial run here.
It's a very aliens shot.
Mm. Is this kind of like the clicker?
Yeah, this enemy is basically a straight up clicker right down to
Mm.
the fact that you can knife them in the throat and have them scream really loudly and nobody else will
Mm.
hear.
Yeah.
It's honestly amazing that it took until The Last of Us for horror games to start doing enemies that can hear you but can't see you. Or at
Hmm.
least that's the first game I'm aware of where that happened.
Um. Yeah. I'd have to think. I thought there was. I feel like there was stealth games before but yeah, I'd have to think back. Maybe some YouTube comment will correct you.
All right. So there's the dodge mechanic, and like the thing
Hmm.
is, you can reset people with the. I pissed everyone off. I'm just gonna not fight you because I want to show off the 1v1 combat.
Okay.
Oh, he died.
Oh, straight
All
up.
right. Well, I'm not going to show off the 1v1 combat then.
Hmm.
Um, but basically, the gist of how one-on-one combat works, which is a lot of what's appealing to me, is that you
Hmm.
have this thing that's kind of like a cross between the stasis module and the kinesis module from Dead Space,
Sure.
um, which you can use to like pull things to you. I
Yeah,
guess not dead
basically a
bodies.
force pull. Yeah, basically use the force, pull somebody, and then freeze them.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, and it's good for like just throwing enemies on like these spikes that for
Yep.
some reason absolutely litter a prison. These giant deadly spikes just hanging off the walls everywhere.
Hmm.
Um, but you can also use it to like break guards and reset enemies within like a melee combo,
Yeah.
um, which basically allows you to keep smacking people.
Yeah,
And you can
and I've
use
seen
that
those
to
chains when they do like the chains that kind of like what you did there, where you melee then shot and kind of. It's like you mix it's like you're deliberately mixing in a melee swing with a gunshot and then a melee swing again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I'm like pretty certain some of these guys are actually alive, so I'm gonna
Hmm.
be kind of quiet going through here. Um, their stealth, it exists. It's whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm gonna do it to slightly narrow down some enemies, or I will run out of battery energy and be in a real problem situation because there's like,
Oh shit!
oh, there's
Oh shit!
dude's not dead yet.
Oh lord! Oh lord!
All right, so this is not great. There have been better situations.
Jesus, even with their
This
heads
dude
cut off,
is
it's absolutely gnarly. God
I have
damn.
no ammo. This sucks. And this dude's
Holy.
gonna mutate. So like one of the things that they do is
Oh
if
shit!
you do not kill enemies fast enough, they basically get stronger.
Oh my god!
Uh,
I kind of see. Are they getting like bigger? Like seems like they like.
so yeah, that's an example of one of the dudes getting stronger right there.
Jesus.
And I can hit this dude into the wall. Yes. All right.
Nice. Oh, dude.
So
Should've
combat's doable.
drank blood.
That was a very bad example of actually tracking my resources. I will say, I'm not a huge fan of like how this game displays stuff. So like
Sure.
that little blue bar above my head is supposed to
Yeah.
be like the HUD equivalent of the thing that tells you like how much kinesis juice you have left.
Sure.
And it's really hard to see in like the middle of combat.
Right, that little, you're talking about that little one above the health bar?
Yeah, the
Oh
blue
my
thing.
god. That's pretty, yeah.
I
Not ideal.
definitely screwed up there because I was not in combat when I glanced at it. But it is like if you are in the middle of a combat section and you're trying to like gauge what you have while dodging people, it's not particularly easy. Even the health bar gets kind of messed up. Oh, geez, bad time to open the menu. I mean, okay, you've seen me. All right, I think everyone's seen me. Jacob, please run. We're gonna slowly walk out of here.
Oh no.
Now everyone's heard me. This is less than ideal. All right. So that little targeting reticle that appears over their heads, sometimes there's a feature in the game where you can like, after doing a melee combo, you can where in the living hell did you come from? All right, I'm just killing you guys in a really lame way because I don't want to deal with you, and I'm running really low on ammo. So the reticule is basically if you do a melee combo, you can shoot to deal extra damage at the end of it, and it can take off one of their limbs, which makes them easier to deal with. Almost run out of the pistol. So yeah, so far this has been a really bad tutorial on how to do stealth.
Like, I think we're going 1080p 60 FPS here. Some of these details look damn near immaculate to me.
The game's fantastic looking.
Yeah.
There's
holy hell, dude.
No question about that. If you buy games for the graphics, then this will certainly not disappoint. I do like sort of have to wonder. So there is an interview that was done with Glenn Schofield where he was basically like, games need to increase in price because it costs so much more to make them look as good as they do.
Sure.
And like one of the things that I came away from this game thinking was like, I feel like it probably would have played better as a horror game if they spent less time focusing on making it look good.
I even remember that in I think you mentioned in the review as like a hypothetical.
Yeah. But I guess we'll never know. All right, so I'm pausing here to point out this is like one of my least favorite things in video games. So you can very clearly see there is nothing down there. And you can kind of glance through the floor. Nothing anywhere in proximity. So I'm going to go down this ladder.
Jump scare. Oh, no jump scare, please.
And I have no idea where you came from, but you were not there. And I didn't even make noise in the air.
I know. Oh my god.
Oh, he's still alive? What? I don't even know if he hit me. My health bar's still full.
Stop him. There we go.
Did he not? Oh, there it is.
Now it's always a confirmed kill when the credits and you get some money from him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Getting my throat nuzzled out by the human esophagus.
Jesus. That's a nice little twist on the alien. Or the, xenomorph, fuck. What was it called? The
face hugger.
Exactly, yeah.
So this is a store in this game. Works
Okay.
pretty similar to how Store in Dead Space does. You can spend some of your valuable limited money to buy guns and upgrade
upgrades
them
and
and
stuff like that.
stuff. If they ever do a Callisto Protocol 2, one big fat thing to put at the top of the list, give us an upgrade for inventory. You have to play like 50% of this game with 6 inventory spots, and it sucks.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
All right, definitely need this. This will let me grab more enemies before my
Kind of off topic.
Magic glove hand runs out.
Nice. Cute, cute. Nice little fashion design there. So did I cut out there for a moment? Sorry, I wasn't.
No.
Oh, okay. So this is going to be a little bit off topic, but it has to do. You keep referencing Dead Space, and I know we're kind of like, who's looking to review it and stuff like that, the remake. So the reason I haven't like committed to it yet is because I'll admit I have not completed the OG original Dead Space.
Really?
Yeah, and so my total experience is total experience is like playing a little bit with my buddy. My buddy beat it and watching the live stream on it from another channel. Just but it wasn't like for research. It was just the game they were playing and just kind of chilling out type deal.
Right.
So I've actually wanted to put it to a vote on VG charts to see, and I'm down for your perspective too, but I figured, is there something intrinsically wrong or like is there something missing intrinsically if you review a remake without fully playing through the OG, you know what I mean? At least getting a complete, like, start to finish type playthrough, or is there potential for something interesting going in somewhat fresh, like just kind of knowing the basics and then, but not knowing the details of what changed. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
maybe a gameplay segment has been switched to a cutscene, and I don't really know that, but it's just like, does it work? Does it not? Maybe it hits different for me.
So, I think both perspectives are valuable. I think it is one of the things that I find most interesting is seeing how people who try games that I really like for the first time years after they were made feel about them.
Yeah.
Like watching someone, give their perspective on like Okami after playing it for the first time is
Sure.
really engaging to me, just because it's I'm so almost like in the weeds of having accepted like here is how the game is, and giving a new perspective to that is always interesting from someone who doesn't like have that those built-in like expectations for it. No, not this again. Game loves to do this, and like 90% of the time it's like in a place you could not possibly be prepared for. It's really just to give these guys a chance to walk in the door.
That's fun. And I kind of like that one. That one kind of makes more sense than the jump scare from before.
I don't mind it. But I don't think it's inherently bad. I think it's just important to like sort of come into it noting up front that
yes.
Oh, so much for stealth yet again. Oh, I have no ammo for this gun. All right.
Oof.
And
good job dodging with the camera kind of shaking there. There you go. Get some room.
I'm burning through like all my ammo. This is All right, I think he's dead. I'm just gonna let him mutate because I do not want to spend any more ammo than I already have. Nope, that's gonna hurt. Yeah, like, so I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, and one
Yeah.
hit will like instantly just demolish your health. But so one thing I will say that's worth being prepared for is that you will inevitably get people upset that
Sure.
you are like coming into this with a perspective that doesn't like know what the previous game is about.
Right.
And like that's
Besides, like the
something,
basic
yeah,
overview kind of thing.
that's something I've got for like reviews of remakes and remasters for games that I played before, and it's been like it's just been so long that I forgot certain portions of it.
Sure.
Uh,
But yeah, that's kind of why like I wanted to, before I commit to it, I wanted to specifically bring that to a vote for those who are willing to chime in about it, and then if it's yay or nay, then I'll make a decision. You know what I mean?
yeah, I don't think
Which
there's
I thought
anything
was kind
inherently
of
wrong with
cool.
it.
Which I think is kind of like a cool opportunity to at least like, because I guess it'd be interesting for me to, because I played and reviewed The Last of Us Part One. Check it out over on VGCharts.com. And it's a weird dynamic, because Last of Us on PS3, I played and beat that. Beat the first time I think on hard, and then New Game Plus on grounded when they added the extra difficulty. I'm pretty sure it was grounded. Whatever the hardest one was back then. And so yeah, and then I go into part one. I pretty much know the basic through, not just the through line. I remember specific details the moment they come up. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I guess it seemed like an interesting opportunity where it's like I come in, not blind, of course, but like, I just don't know the details.
Yeah. This is like, I think, just kind of leads to a broader like question about the purpose of reviews.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think like sort of a strict adherence to like only people who have played it before can review it is detrimental, because it isn't like a perspective that works as well for people who will be playing Dead Space for the first time
Right.
in January. I think sort of in an ideal world, you kind of get two reviews, one from the someone who's played it before and one from a first timer. I'm just gonna fight this guy normally because he's in my way, and I don't feel like being stealthy.
Lord, man. Oh.
Well, I am not out of stasis. I don't know why it didn't pop up. Oh, now I'm out of stasis. All right, well, fun with the HUD in this game.
Yeah. God damn, bro. I guess the one thing that's interesting that I think maybe can be kind of like a disconnect between a watcher and you as the player. There's something about it when the camera zooms in and out for like it wants to show that strike, and then or no when you're maybe grabbing them, throwing them against the wall, shooting them, and you go back into that mode of shooting. It's kind of interesting, but I'm not sure. I wonder how I'd feel playing that. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's a rhythm to it that you get used to.
Yeah,
I
so
guess it all depends.
I will say it looks a lot more confusing than it is. It's super
Right.
automated. Like it aims automatically for you.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do is like if you see the reticule, you just press shoot.
Mm.
And that's legitimately all it boils down to.
I gotcha.
But yeah, no, I have no doubt that it could certainly be disconcerting for some people, and it was to some extent for me at first too.
Can you go back to the bulldozer there? Go to the front where you killed that enemy. Can you imagine like being the guy who had to graffiti that out, like don't make a sound as he's like chilling right here?
the 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 yeah, the graffiti in horror games, like especially when it's written with like blood or something, is always it's always just been something that's felt like super silly to me more than actually scary. It's like, yeah, someone had like a giant. Oh, God damn it!
Whoa, whoa.
Stupid stasis just keeps dropping at the worst possible time because I'm not keeping track of it. All right, so this is bad. This is very bad.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna try and make it back to the stairway that I was on.
Oh Jesus!
So many.
My God, dude!
Don't be that itself, kids. I don't think they can come through doors. We're gonna find out. Should probably back away in case they can. Try and give my stasis some time to recharge.
Oh, okay. All right.
Keep trying to just pick them up and throw them to the spike walls and completely
Yeah, it seemed like you were doing that, and then it's like it kind of like gave up on you mid.
Yeah, it has no qualms about just like dropping instantly if you run out. I might as well be productive and see if there's like. Yeah.
God, just seeing like it was amazing when you turn back around and just seeing 7 of them on your tail like that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
All right, I think they've all just very graciously forgotten about me. Smart thing would be to wait for, it's called grip in this game, the kinesis to recharge. Fortunately, no one has ever accused me of being smart, so I will go back to playing this in the most risky way possible, for no benefit. There's a very generous stab box there.
Hey, I think the game knows you kind of have a lot of enemies in here, so it's like, we'll give it to you.
I'd certainly hope so. It put them all there.
Yeah.
Alright. Probably should not have stomped that close to him. Alright, I got my super fun magic throwing power back.
Nice.
So... And they're just, it's just...
There's a lot here, bro.
Zombie Mardi Gras.
Exactly.
I will say these like extended stealth sequences are weird for me because the game's so action heavy for a good chunk of its runtime, and then it's, we're gonna be the clicker sections from The Last of Us.
Yeah. And it is kind of weird too. Like, this is something I've noticed that I'm hearing from here, and when playing like Plague Tale Requiem. At least Plague Tale Requiem, when she would do stealth and it'd be kind of loud.
Oh, God damn it. There's no way that ran out that quickly.
Oh, God.
Alright. There's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
Which usually you shouldn't try and do even that, but...
but your paw.
Oh, he's nibbling my feet. He's fucking nibbling my feet.
Oh no!
This is actually much worse because now he's a super tiny hitbox. And I have no ammo in this gun, so we gotta do this the honest way. My incentive to not die is, if I do, I have to edit it out because YouTube gets mad if you post super brutal death scenes. You are a chunky sir. I really hope no more of your friends spawn in. Alright, well, there's another tutorial on how to not manage your resources.
Seems like we're getting a lot of those tutorials here.
I've done that, yeah, way more today than I think I ever have playing this game. I'm gonna chalk it up to being recorded. Just not like being zoomed in that close. I have way more ammo for this gun than I thought I did. I was reading it as 1 of 9 rather than 1 of 19. You gonna spawn in there. I should definitely heal. That does not do very much.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Yep.
Like basically one full refill would like get you to full.
How did you hear me? What?
Okay.
This is a tragedy.
Yes. Or a comedy of errors, which you decide, YouTube. Man, just decided he could see now. Alright, I think he's the only one that followed me. Never mind. Where on earth did you come from? Whoa. Yeah, that's cool.
They're all behind me now. What?
Oh, what?
Are they like coming from a? There's got to be like a grate or something.
Yeah.
Weird. I thought they only.
Get to the door. Hide behind the door.
This is the most comedy of errors horror game footage that will ever exist on YouTube.
Oh yeah. That's what we're doing, making content for the boys and girls. Okay, now I just phased out of reality.
Yeah, they pulled the trick that one guy did when standing at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah.
Alright, I got my stuff back. Hopefully it will last more than, like, throwing 2 dudes this time. Feels like it hasn't lasted anywhere near as long as it usually does. Which is probably just me being weird, but...
But is this your first time with the hardest difficulty, maybe? Like, maybe they...
It is, but I don't think that changed... Alright, so you... Okay, you're just not gonna hear me now. Maybe I made a noise before. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alright. I got plenty of stuff. Now I can stop you two. Let's just come up and give you the old prison classic.
Beautiful. So smooth. Oh, got a loading screen here.
Yeah. So, this is like one of the things that just sort of annoys me about modern games in general.
Yeah.
I wish we would go back to the like 6th gen thing where people would just like put doors that took a longer time to load.
Mm-hmm. Like
Because
Jack
at
and
least,
Daxter.
yeah, at
Mm-hmm.
least with that, you can like, with future technology, it'll just mean the doors open faster
Mm-hmm.
if you like play it on, you know, I guess whatever the
Right. Instead of it being like super, like going back to Jack and Daxter or that series, like when you're in the door and the gears slowly come to the middle, like those big cogs to
Mhm.
kind of like, signal it would open up and unlock. Like it could be super, next gen. It would be basically be like drop right in and hurry you along, basically.
Right.
Yeah. And I haven't really watched. I've tried to avoid any gameplay, but I heard Ragnarok is kind of nasty when it comes to just stretching that stuff out, like as far as pacing out disguise loading screens here and there and et cetera, et cetera.
Ragnarok does it a ton. Final Fantasy VII Remake did it a ton.
Right. I can
Um,
remember that one too.
Last of Us 2 did it a ton.
Yeah, but Last of Us 2, I didn't think those were. I didn't think it was super bad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess there's something you can kind of get away with when you're kind of like in a post-apocalyptic, like modern setting, like things are still like tactile versus like in the future, or in this fantasy settings, like, oh, there's two really tight boulders, got to take like 30 seconds to cross through and stuff like that to load for the disguise loading screen.
That's fair. It
Yeah,
is. It
like
is. It
there's
is probably worse, given like the super strong, superhuman nature of Kratos versus
yeah.
a regular person too.
Mhm.
Um, like one of my absolute pet peeves with level design
Mhm.
is I don't know if you played Dark Souls 2.
I've only played a little bit of Scholar the First Sin, but I want to get to it.
So there's this place in 2 called the Shrine of Winter, which you basically have to
Mhm.
pass through to get to the final area in the game.
Mhm.
And it's set up so that you have to basically kill 4 of the most powerful beings in existence to bypass this little pile of rubble.
Oh.
Um, and like one of my pet peeves with level design since that game has always been games that like block your access to a region with something that like I would have no problem just stepping over.
Yeah.
Ragnarok does
Mhm.
that a ton. Where like
Mhm.
there'll be this like little like 1 foot high set of like tiny rocks or hedges or something.
Mhm.
You have to like go all the way around it, or
Mhm.
sometimes just not be able to progress past it at all. And it's
Yeah, it's like waist. It's like a waist high cover.
yeah.
Yeah.
And before anyone jumps down my throat for it, I still think it's a good game. Uh, I'm not as high on it as a lot of people, but it's still a very solid experience.
Yeah, but
Really
even
good
that
story.
is like annoying as hell to some people. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm kind of like, since I'm also I moonlight as a N4G moderator, so you know I'm kind of frequenting there, seeing comment sections of certain games at VG Charts reviews, and that was, wasn't fun. It was funny though, but that I guess in that sense it was, you know enjoyable for what it is.
Wow, how did you live?
Oh, he missed it. Oh
I guess
shit.
did I didn't
It
throw him
was
far
just
enough.
short. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Right.
Hi guys. need your friend to die. Thank you. Oh, I really wish I'd killed you before. I realized you were mutating. Oh well.
Arms, head, everything.
Well, not so much arms anymore.
Yeah. Stop.
Camera did get a little wild there.
Yeah,
that does happen if you get like backed into a you can hit you. That sucks.
That's the one thing I'm kind of worried about. Like, I'm still interested, obviously, to play this, but I'm kind of worried what they're gonna do with Hellblade, because that's another zoomed-in camera type of deal for an action game.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part of the first one was when they had too many enemies on screen.
Right.
So.
Yeah, cameras are something that I don't feel like get enough attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when it comes to development of action games, it's really easy to screw up.
Mm-hmm.
And
we still are.
Yeah.
You got away with that one there.
Thanks for standing there for me.
just outside of range to not touch you.
Made up for the one last time where he still managed to detect me.
Yeah.
And I bought the upgrade for this thing, and it's still taking forever to charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just killed my friend there.
That's fine. Stop turning around. I need like a noisemaker to just distract them.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Jacob is a delivery man, so he doesn't know about the science of throwing things.
Right.
He's dedicated to making sure your package gets there on time.
There you go.
Speaking of Jacob, apparently he's modeled after some Transformers dude.
Yeah, I forget his name right now, but I think is he Josh Duhamel? I think it is.
And I'll take your word for it. I probably should have made sure there were none of you people around before doing that. Let's go this way to the spiked walls. It's a fantastic adventure. Oh, let's run into a rock. I'll get slapped in the face because I'm an idiot. So one of my other like sort of weird pet peeves about like design is when games go through like painstaking efforts to make. Oh, okay. I guess you're here too. To make like their characters look like a real life actor. It's just such like a weird choice for me. Where are you all coming from? All right, you have to die. I'm not living if there are two mutated people here. I may not live. Okay, well, that was very convenient.
That was nice.
I did not deserve that. That game was very generous with the
thank you graphic glitches, or however you want to, like, the environment kind of giving. That was basically a gimme from the environment there.
The game decided that I had suffered enough.
Yeah, well, you did have one enemy coming right behind you out of nowhere, so.
That is true. I guess they like heard me and just followed me all the way through like grates.
So I saw somewhere, like, with the new Dead Space, there's the quote-unquote intensity director. Has Glenn Schofield talked anything about that same concept here, maybe, with the hardest difficulty?
He is not.
Do you think that could be the case? There could be a subtle intensity director here that's kind of like doing the same kind of thing? Whoa!
It's off. Um, it's certainly possible.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it probably wouldn't be with like wall hurt boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that would just be really difficult to program.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like the way I've seen that done is like in RE4, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
If you're low on health or ammo on normal or easy, um,
Mm-hmm.
the game will spawn less enemies and drop more resources.
Right, right, right.
So I could definitely see it doing something like that.
Mm-hmm. I guess I guess it'd be weird if they didn't advertise it though. Like, it seems like something that'd be cool to advertise. I don't know if he has, but would be neat feature, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting like design thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like one of those things where it's like so like one thing that Ragnarok does actually to go back to that, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not just Ragnarok; it's a few games that do it as well. Um, is if you are on uh, low health,
Mm-hmm.
um, the game will actually cause some hits to not kill you. That would
Mm.
normally have taken off enough health to kill you if you were at like a normal health percentage, if that makes sense.
Sure, sure. I understand.
Um, to like sort of create the illusion that you're barely scraping through encounters.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's like one of those things that like developers hide. They don't like announce it because they want it to feel more organic and
Yeah.
scary. Because once you sort of like realize that, it becomes less like an exciting, oh, I barely survived that. That was super crazy and memorable. And instead turns into
Mm.
like, oh, well, the game just gave me a cop out. It felt bad for me.
R- I guess, yeah. Like, I mean, to me, like, I guess I kind of just respect it for the design itself, because I'm sure it's not. Excuse me. It's it's not easy. You know what I mean? To just like, you gotta. There's all these variables to consider of like when to drop health items and stuff like that, and when to go easier, when to go harder. I
Yeah, for
don't.
sure.
That's
No,
just me.
I'm actually in agreement with you there. I find those like sort of design choices really interesting.
Hmm.
Um, but at least I suspect, don't know for sure, but I suspect we're probably in the minority there.
Sure. Oh
Look
Jesus.
at this, look at this dude.
Oh.
Can't even hit me. What a loser. Please die.
Excuse me.
Please die. Please die. I hate you. You're the worst. Just get your arms back. Oh, all right. I guess you don't need a head.
Good Lord. Even a stomp
Use
doesn't stop him.
this guy is.
Wow.
Oh, okay. I guess that killed him.
Oh
Sure. Whatever. Um,
Jesus.
you guys are fast. I didn't get either of you onto that wall. I still didn't get either of you onto that wall.
No.
Good, dang it. I, I'm not having my first death on this playthrough do some. Oh, maybe I am.
Yeah.
All right, just block. Any more? I don't
Just
think
keep
so.
swinging. Just keep swinging until you don't hear anything.
Well, that's what I tried. Like I swung just kind of swung madly at them the first time around, and it like whiffed, and he
Yeah.
slapped me.
So, Mr. Paul, do you want to announce what's next on the review docket for you?
So Ixion is getting published next, which I've wanted to like record gameplay for, but it's really hard to make it interesting in any way because it's just like for an outsider, it just looks like managing the colony, colony management. But it is a genuinely really interesting game that like sort of combines colony management and almost like a real-time strategy thing to it. And funnily enough, it's another game that people complained about difficulty on. But I think it's pretty manageable as long as you're playing carefully. I am not so pretentious that I can't admit that I definitely game overed a few times towards the start.
Until you found the right groove, I guess, is the kind of...
Yeah, so like the general idea of it is that you are this administrator for a big space station that is carrying the last bits of humanity on it. And you have to basically set things up to keep your people from starving, to keep your ship alive, and keep everyone happy enough that they don't overthrow you.
Sure.
And it is really engaging.
Yeah.
It definitely has some problems. By the end game, you have enough resources and you figured out enough stuff that your station basically just sort of runs itself, and then you just have to like spend 5 or so hours bumming about until the game decides to end.
So kind of like a Citizen Sleeper type of issue, I guess.
Yeah. But for the most part, it's honestly really engaging. And if you like strategy games at all, I think it's worth a try. I also know it is a incredible game because the game has a mechanic where people like basically get more or less upset with you depending on the policies you implement.
Oh, cool.
And if they get too upset, there were not that many of you down here when I climbed out. Anyway, if they get too upset, they overthrow you. And one of the policies you can implement to make them like you more is bringing a dog on board. And the game literally just says, like, +1 stability dog. That is not the person I wanted to stab. Yeah. What the heck? There was a much more viable target right there for you, and you had to go with him. I'm really gonna hope he died. He did not, in fact, die.
And there's another one. Say hello to you.
This might be it. I have no ammo. This sucks. No. Looks like I really got ahead of myself.
Oh, that's not a way to get ahead in life.
The game just crashed.
Oh.
All right. Well, I guess that's about as good an ending as you could ask for.